ever, we have our first media question from Philippine star Luisa Morales, who asks, how good did Stephen Lohman look? Do you think
Unbelievable. I mean, I was really impressed. I mean, if he had finished Bibi, he would have gotten the bonus, right? And I think an automatic title shot. Stephen looked amazing, aggressive. You know, he's normally a counter striker, but he came out very aggressive, put a lot of pressure on Bibi. His takedown defense was outstanding. Takedowns were incredible. And the fact that, you know, you can control a jiu-jitsu world champion as decorated as Bibi, that's just crazy to me. That's just crazy. So Stephen Lohman clearly has improved dramatically, leaps and bounds. And I definitely think he's ready for a title shot.
Fantastic. Our next question comes from Vincent Richards of Sportskeeda. Vincent, go ahead.
Hi, Mr. Chatri. Congratulations on the event. Can you just excuse me? Can you just tell the personal excitement that you had watching this fourth Amazon Prime card and seeing Christian Lee become a double champ?
I mean, what an incredible fight. You know, I actually thought that Christian was going to run through Abbasov. That was my my gut feel, because the grappling is, you know, Christian's grappling is just way too good. I did not expect Christian to stand in the pocket. That was a game plan I did not expect. And it's crazy because, I mean, I thought the ref was going to stop the fight in the first round. I mean, it was that close, but what an incredible display of heart and stuff. But yeah, hats off, man. 2-division world champion. It's unbelievable.
Thanks, Mr. Chatri.
Our next question comes in via the chat from Nedipong of MGR Online, who asks, Rodtang was dominant again tonight. Can you put into context what fans are witnessing in terms of where Rodtang stacks up with the all-time Muay Thai greats?
I mean, there's no doubt that Rodtang now is the biggest global superstar that Muay Thai has ever seen, full stop, in the history of the sport. If you look at his fighting style, his KO percentage, if you look at his charisma in and out of the cage, this guy is going to be huge. You watch, in the next 2-3 years, he's going to be truly mainstream global superstar in all over the world. This is what I predict. I mean, he has everything. You know, Lasiri talked a big game. I was kind of disappointed. I'm like, if you want the belt, you got to fight. You know, I mean, I think Rodtang made a little bit of fun of Lasiri, but I was very disappointed in Lasiri. That's not how a champion should be. That's not someone, you know, we gave a massive opportunity, obviously, to Lasiri to move up and win a second title. And all he did was run. And he wasn't trying to win. He was just trying to survive.
Next up, Jeffrey Hu from Kung Fu Kingdom. Go ahead, Jeffrey.
Hello, Chatri. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. So, with Christian Lee's dominant win over Abbasov, who do you think will be the next challenger for Christian Lee?
So I think, you know, we're going to see some fireworks come December 2nd on Amazon Prime with Roberto Soldic versus Murad Ramazanov. Ramazanov, I think, is 12-0, undefeated. He's currently the #1 wrestler in the middleweight division in all of Russia, right? I mean, if you ask all the major wrestling gyms and teams and whatnot, and you know, Murad is by far the best. Obviously, the best in Dagestan. So Roberto Soldic has a lot on his hands, a lot on his plate. You know, is Roberto as good as he's been touted? You know, obviously 2-division KSW champion. You know, arguably the best pound for pound fighter out of Europe, full stop today. So it'd be very, very fascinating. And I think the winner of that, depending on how the fight shakes out, could be fighting for the title against Christian.
All right, thank you.
Our next question comes in via the chat from spin.ph, who asks, how excited are you to close out a spectacular year for one in Manila?
Oh, I'm very excited for Manila, man. We haven't been back almost 3 years because of the pandemic. You know, in Asia, all the countries were shut down, even until recently, right? I mean, Japan just opened up a couple weeks ago. The borders are still closed, or rather, in China just opened last week. So I think now Asia's fully, I mean, the next 3 to 6 months going to fully open. So I'm really fired up to come back to Manila. Obviously, you know, it's literally one of the greatest countries for fight fans, full stop, in terms of combat sport lovers. And obviously, one has a huge base there, being the number one or number two sports property every week in the Philippines in terms of TV viewership.
Our next question comes from Jay Anderson of Cage Side Press.
Thanks very much. And Chatri, congratulations on a great event tonight. Stellar main event with Christian Lee and Abbasov. But obviously, Abbasov had lost the title on the scale, and that's the second time in 2 Prime Video cards that that's happened. Is that a sign maybe that there's a problem here, or is it a sign that the hydration testing and the weight testing is working and guys maybe need to consider moving up?
Yeah, no, I think it's an example of, you know, athletes, if you want to fight the highest levels in the world and you want to fight in the healthiest system, our medical process, obviously, with our hydration, with our fight week CAT scans, with our neurological exams for athletes, is by far the highest standard of any organization in the world. And I'm very proud of that. So, you know, there are some growing pains with our entire medical system. There clearly is. But I don't think we should. I mean, I think it's an amazing thing. Like, fighters need to know, they need to they can't game the system. If you look at what's happening in the States, people cutting 25 pounds of water weight and then regaining it back and more 24 hours later is terrible for the human body, terrible for your health long term, and let alone your brain health. Because you know, hydration, the water doesn't necessarily hydrate your brain as it does with us organs in the same amount of time, and that's why you see a lot of strange knockouts. You know, in the American organizations, maybe a jab and somebody's knocked out because their brain was dehydrated still. So from that perspective, I'm okay. You know, we will have a little bumps and bruises, but we have the healthiest medical system, medical process for athletes globally, full stop, at the highest levels in the world. So if these things happen, you know, it happens. But I think also fighters who try to quote unquote game the system, this is what happens.
And just one more quick one. The hardest thing for double champs to do seems to be to defend both titles. Do you think Christian Lee will be able to have that strength of schedule to defend both belts?
Well, you know, while I thought Christian was incredible heart, I did not think that was his best performance. When he was in featherweight and lightweight, he's never struggled with cardio, never. And this is the first time where I think in the second round, and granted, he took a real beating in the first round, and obviously that saps your cardio anyways, but he didn't fully recover his cardio ever through the fight. So he fought on an empty gas tank and, you know, all heart, 100% heart. Which is extraordinary again, right? Christian is a true warrior, true world champion. But you know, whenever someone moves up in weight, you pack on more muscle, and obviously muscle burns oxygen, and so your cardio is not as good. And I think that's what we saw tonight, is that Christian's cardio wasn't the same as when he was featherweight and lightweight. So it's a big question. You know, it's a big question. And I thought Christian also didn't look particularly strong for a welterweight.
Absolutely. Well, congrats again on a great event. Looking forward to more.
Thank you.
Cheers, Jay. Our next question comes from Abdullah of Verdict MMA.
Hey, Chatri. Massive event. Massive congratulations.
Thank you.
You've talked recently about one being in a big expansion phase, and it shows you're breaking into US markets, breaking into Brazilian markets, and getting TV deals all around the world. You do have to invest a lot of funds and assets into that. It's business to see a return. How confident are you in that return during this expansion phase as compared to maybe in the past?
I mean, again, I'm very confident in our long-term corporate strategy of investing in the platform and the brand, in our reach, frequency, engagement numbers with broadcasters, with the biggest and most prestigious broadcasters around the world. Obviously, our roster continue to expand the different martial arts that we showcase. The greatest world championship martial arts on the planet, irrespective of discipline. And that's always been the game plan. And what you're seeing is momentum, tremendous momentum. I mean, just this year alone, we announced Amazon, 200 million subscribers. In the next 3 years, we'll probably be the largest broadcaster, full stop, in the U.S. We announced Globo, with 200 million viewers, the largest broadcaster in Latin America and Brazil. Then Bein Sports, which is the largest broadcaster in the Middle East in terms of sports, and has the world's largest media rights portfolio of sports properties. So we're working on some huge deals right now as we speak, and I think, again, fans all over the world are going to be in for bigger and bigger treats. Every year One Champion has done it bigger, better, and badder, and that's what we'll continue to do. We'll continue to invest heavily in our growth, heavily in expansion, again, across our brand, our product, our platform, and our roster.
Awesome. Thank you. Just 2 more for me. While we have you, what's the biggest misconception fans seem to have about One Championship that you'd like to clear up?
I don't think it's a misconception. I just think that when fans around the world who have not seen one, it will be very eye-opening, and you will truly see the world's greatest world championship martial arts, full stop, in any discipline. And I think we're seeing it in our numbers. I mean, our numbers are growing exponentially across every metric, across every platform, and in all these new countries. So again, we're at the very beginning of our U.S. journey, literally day one, and I have tremendous faith in the Amazon partnership and what we're doing, and we're only going to get bigger and better and bolder and badder, as I said, even in the U.S.
It's amazing to see where one is going from where it came from. And the last one, what's sort of the biggest lesson that you've learned in business? Just a life lesson that you apply regularly.
I think it goes back to my martial arts roots. My grandmaster used to always tell me, surround yourself with greatness in order to unleash your greatness. And every day I look at my teammates at One, across the entire company, just superstars who truly want to change the world, who want to do something extraordinary with their lives. I look at our athletes, it's the same thing, and we're just very, very lucky. I think that would be my biggest lesson, that I learned as a martial arts way back when I was a kid and I started martial arts, and until this journey, until today, 38 years of martial arts. And that's a big lesson that my grandmaster Sityodtong Senanan taught me ever since I was a kid.
Thanks again. Congratulations on the night.
Thank you.
Thanks, Abdullah. We'll go across now to Andrew Mack of MMA Island.
Hello, Chatri. So as you break into the American market with Prime Video, what are some American locations you want to host events at in 2023 and 2024?
Well, we're talking to a bunch of state athletic commissions. We have the blessings from a few states, and we've already booked venues for next year. It's a little early for the year after. But again, we're in discussions with all the major athletic commissions, state athletic commissions, and we fully plan to open up the entire United States to the global rule set, which we believe is safer, healthier for our athletes, with our hydration system and our medical protocol, but at the same time, provides a better and more exciting action with the largest finish rate, in combat sports. We have a 70% finish rate as compared to the other 2 global organizations where they hover around 40 and 50%.
And just one more. So a couple of weeks ago, Arjun Bowler offered to be traded for Petr Yan. Is that a trade you'd ever consider?
For who?
Petr Yan.
No interest.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, everybody, for your questions. Chatri, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.